Welcome back to the Chasing Tone podcast. I'm Travis.
I'm still sick.
And I'm still Brian and not sick.
And we're still a bit under the weather, right? You know, whatever. It's fine.
And the reason I'm not is because I have my handy Germex.
But my boss went to Key West and brought me back. Normally you say my boss went to Key West and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. This T-shirt's awesome. All right, I'm going to show it to the cameras, and so if you're just listening, you're going to have to check it out on YouTube. But it says,
I'm not drunk.
I am by nature a loud, friendly, clumsy person. It's funny because it's true.
It's true, but you are drunk, though, right?
Not now.
It's probably worn off by now.
Yeah. What time is it? It's noon?
It is 11:58.
Yeah, it's noon o'clock, so no, I'm good.
Yeah. I'd have plenty before the long drive over here.
You'd be, you'd be proud of me. I bought a 6-pack the other day, about I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. There's still 4 in there.
I'm still on the wagon.
I know, man. Good for you. You still on the wagon, boss?
It's been, I haven't drank since last night. Something like that.
Although, I don't know. If I had Red Stripe in there, it'd probably be gone. I told you that's my new beer.
Tastes great with chicken.
You just dip it in there?
No, just eat chicken and drink Red Stripe.
Okay, so you don't put your chicken in your Red Stripe.
No, they're paired well. It's like red wines and white wines are paired well with different foods.
Okay.
Red Stripe pairs well with chicken.
Okay. Dude, what movie was it? City Slickers. Remember City Slickers?
Yes, it's Ben and Jerry ice cream.
Yeah, do you remember this?
I don't remember that part.
Scoop of chocolate, scoop of vanilla. Don't waste my time.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is with this movie was these two guys were Ben and Jerry's ice cream. I don't know what they did there.
Yeah, I think they're called Steve and Mary's or something.
Yeah, Steve and Mary's.
I can't remember.
Yeah, they were ice cream experts.
Right.
But basically, you could give them any meal, and they could tell you the perfect compliment to that meal for ice cream.
Gotcha.
So, and it goes on, like he said, they'll test and be like, okay, well, what about a steak? And then the guy will say, oh, easy, 1 scoop butterscotch, 1 scoop vanilla. Don't waste my time.
Sea bass, sauteed, asparagus.
Yeah.
Why do I know this stuff?
Yeah, that always stuck with me, too. But that was totally about guitar tone, just like this podcast.
And now that all of our listeners are tuned out.
And Max is getting ready to get happy because he got some coffee, right?
I did. Chai latte.
And Brian got
More coffee.
He got a triple shot of espresso just to maintain. To maintain. I'd hate to know what you wake up to. This guy is coffee and hand sanitizer all day.
And nicotine gum.
Yeah, and nicotine gum. I didn't want to say that, but since you called him out on it. And
I'll call him out. That's fine.
Hey, got to maintain my girly figure.
Instead of eating, you just...
Instead of eating, I just drink coffee and chew nicotine gum.
Chew nicotine.
I'm sure that's completely healthy.
Hey,
Probably.
you're not getting tar in your lungs. That's the only reason not to smoke. It's not the nicotine addiction. It's the bad stuff, the carcinogens. You're fine.
Cancer.
Yeah, what do you know about cancer, Max?
I know, right?
You're just an alcoholic. If you guys don't get that joke, it is an inside joke, but we explained it on a previous podcast. So comb through every one of them till you find it.
We're not telling which one
We're
either.
not telling which one. And it's not because we can't remember.
Okay, we really can't remember.
Okay, I'm gonna grab this list here so I can. It's pretty bad when I have to divert us on track.
Right. Which side of the paper did you touch to know where not to touch?
I touched it all. I licked it.
Oh my gosh! I need to print another copy out.
Germaphobe. Okay, so all right, well, you pick one because I talked about a couple different things. I kind of.
Okay.
See, now you just spread the germs everywhere.
Oh, I did. Crap. I blew them away. Okay.
So I think. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we were talking kind of a minute ago, and you were talking about how you use Marshall amps
right. On the
differently
last
than
episode.
you would use your not your Fender, but your
The Fargen.
Yeah,
Yep, which is, I think Ben would even tell you this. It's very Fender inspired, very Blackfacey. Did I ever tell you about the time? Sorry. God, I'm terrible at this. But I have a buddy who used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and he was selling a Blackface Fender, and somebody emailed him and said he was racist for calling it that. I swear to God. You almost spit coffee out. Do you remember Chuck Davies? Do you remember him?
I do.
Yeah, it was him. Yeah.
Chuck's
Can you
pretty
believe
joking,
that?
Well, I mean, to the uninformed person, just stumbling across
Right,
it.
I guess. But come on.
And you know.
Well, why was that person looking up blackface? See what I'm saying?
Why do we have some listeners that email us that tell us they wasted 30 minutes of their day?
God bless those people. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. We like all of you listeners. Even the ones that hate us.
Yeah, of course. Or one that called me a, dumb A, right?
Would it be the first time or the last time?
I think it was an effing dumb
Oh,
A.
an effing dumb A.
Something like that.
I don't think he abbreviated though.
No.
He was nice enough. He was nice enough to use the full vocab.
One guy called me a gentleman.
Lucky.
I was flattered.
But anyway,
Okay, so you were telling me that you would use a completely different pedal board depending on the amp that you have.
namely one pedal. But yeah, I mean, for instance, obviously I'm a little more familiar with Wampler pedals because I'm fortunate enough to get to play all of them. So for instance, the Velvet Fuzz, if I'm playing that through a Fender style amp, I'm going to set it up completely different because I want it to have, we kind of designed that to sound like some type of really nice fuzz going into kind of a Marshall stack kind of sound, right? Would you agree with that? Mm-hmm. So when I play it through a Fender, I really don't have to do much to it. It kind of has that sound. But if I play it through a Marshall, I notice I turn the brightness down and I play it on the tight setting. Mm-hmm. But to where,
because you don't have to get that sound, that emulation of the amp breaking up.
Right, exactly. So, but especially what we were talking about was tube screamers. Mm-hmm. I would rather use a boost pedal in front of a Marshall and use a tube screamer in front of a Fender. And I will say one thing too, and maybe this is the presence control like we talked about, but I swear modulation sound completely different through both amps, even if I'm using the same cab.
The modulation pedals?
Yeah, modulation pedals, like for instance, a Univibe. Uh-huh. I don't know why, but I hear a little bit more top-end sparkle on the Marshall, but that might just be because that's how it is anyway.
It could be. I mean, it could be. I don't think it'd be an impedance thing necessarily, but I mean,
see, that never occurred to me. It was just funny how your brain works. Because I never would have thought of that aspect of it. This is cool. Because now it's like, damn it, maybe the first thing I think is, man, maybe my board's messed up. Maybe I have impedance issues. I'm that guy that emails me.
What's my problem?
Yeah. So I says to myself, Kyle, what's your problem? Right? No, my name's not Kyle. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. You played Fenders pretty much exclusively though, don't you?
Yeah, I hate to say it. I like some Marshalls, but there's never been really any Marshall except one that I've really just really liked.
And you're still mad at me for selling
it because I had the money to buy it.
No, you didn't. Did you really?
I did not have the money to buy it.
Did you say I had the money to buy it?
I said I didn't have the money to buy it.
I thought before that you said because I had the money to buy it.
Because I didn't have the money to buy it.
I thought he said because I had the money to buy it.
Yeah, me too.
It's like,
why the hell did you buy it? No.
And then you said, no, I did not.
No, I didn't have the money to buy it. It's a cold. That was the only Marshall I really liked. Fenders has just always been kind of my tone.
Yeah.
Fenders and Voxes and everything else.
And I know you're loving that 2-Rock.
Oh my gosh, I wanted that 2-Rock so bad.
Which is kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you know a lot more about these amps. Is it just their custom reverb that's kind of dumbly, or all of them kind of like that?
It's all kind of dumbly, but really the one I fell in love with, the Studio Pro.
Yeah, the 20 watt, right?
It's a 22 watt amp, and it doesn't really sound. It sounds kind of dumbly. It's 6V6, but it really just sounds like a really really good Blackface Fender.
Yeah, to me it sounded like.
It sounded really good.
It was kind of weird. Like you could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? I'll just being bluntly honest here. I loved the amp. Don't get me wrong, and I would play one in a heartbeat. But to me, it had like almost a boxy sound to the mid range. A
little bit,
but
yeah.
I think that would work so well in the context of a band.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that would, like, I think where that amp would shine would be on a stage. I think in that little bitty hotel room at the LA Amp Show, it sounded great. But I bet if you put that with a bass player and a drummer, oh man, I bet that thing would sound killer.
I typically, though, like boxy style amps. Like the Blues Junior is very boxy.
But it doesn't sound boxy when you play
it. Doesn't sound boxy when I play them.
Yeah, I actually love those little amps like that.
Yeah,
Do you really?
But I like mid-range heavy stuff, though. Probably because I use a Telecaster. And
Yeah, I use a Stratocaster.
You don't need mid-range heavy as hard as you attack.
Yeah.
Seriously, Brian has like, and it's funny because people assume that I have a heart attack, but heart attack.
Serious is a heart attack.
Yeah, hard
picking attack.
Yeah. But anyway, people assume that I do for some reason, but I have a really, really. Uh-oh, here he is on his hand sanitizer again. That's round one. Let's keep track. But
The running tally on the screen.
I just remembered I touched your paper.
Gotcha. But
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt your heart attack story.
oh, that's all right. But you have a really, really hard attack, and I find that you get the most out of your gear, if that makes any sense. Like, and I'm not saying everybody needs to go beat the crap out of their guitars, but I honestly do think that like you get more out of your gear doing it that way.
Well, here's how I view it, and this is probably odd to hear me saying this, but like there's times we're at NAMM and I'll hear you or someone else play like one of the pedals, like you, for example, with the fuzz. Mm-hmm. And I just the way I pick, I guess, because I hit so hard, I'm just like I can't get it to do that. I like that sound better than what I get it to sound like.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, one thing I will say with that is
not everything, but there's pedals like that.
right, and I think it's, for instance, and don't take this the wrong way, but I don't envision you as a type of person that could ever really nail that Eric Johnson style tone.
No.
Because he picks pretty soft.
Right, I've tried, and just
It
where sounds like a chicken picker trying to
and I can't play like him. I don't have his playing, but I can get that tone.
right.
Because I have a softer attack. On the other side, I can never play Brad Paisley licks and sound like that. You can. Mm-hmm. And granted, you can play the licks and I can't, but the couple licks that I do know that would fit if I had that sharper attack don't sound that way because I don't.
Right.
And it's pretty frustrating.
He picks pretty hard too.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's part of his sound.
It is, yeah, for sure.
You're pretty right there in the middle though, man.
Yeah, right in the middle, yeah.
You're like Goldilocks. And I'm not talking about your hair.
That's just right.
See, you're the one getting the nice hair now.
It is,
Look
and
at
a nice beard.
And you got like some salve or something going on?
Yeah, some gel.
Salve, some gel.
There you go,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Dude, yeah, it's No Shave November, at least when we filmed this.
Yeah.
I recorded this. And Max looks like he's got the thing going on his chin.
It's actually all there. It's just really, really blonde.
If you guys ever watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's this character called Splinter, and he's got like the
Yeah.
like
Half
can I say
mustache.
can I
If you
say
put
this?
that on Seth, what's the actor's name? Seth Rogen or
Seth Rogen?
Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
I'm actually so Polish I can't grow the Hitler part of the mustache.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah.
He
Oh
went
my gosh,
there.
I've never noticed. You're right.
He can't grow.
You've got
It
you've got
comes
a
in
reverse
now,
Hitler.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got a reverse Hitler.
Reverse Hitler.
Yeah,
Yep.
dude.
Everything
What is-
but that part.
Dude,
What we're going to do is we're going to put Just for Men in my beard.
that's what I was getting ready to
Yeah,
say. Our
last
buddy
day.
Britton, he has like a beard with air quotes around it, beard. But he put Just for Men in it to darken it up, and now he has like a no air quotes beard. He has a real beard.
Really?
His beard
That's
grows
what you
like
need to
yours,
do.
all white and stuff.
Oh,
You know what you
yeah.
could do? You just take like mascara or something and just like color it in.
We're
every
going to
day.
do that last day. We're going to do everything just black. Just to show people
cold
I
black.
can't really grow a beard. It's just really like light and
So
blonde.
you're really doing this for
Oh, yeah, the whole thing.
Now, what is this to raise awareness for something?
Yeah. No Shave November actually started in Australia, and you could have teams, and essentially what a bunch of if I remember it, a bunch of Australian guys, the money they spend on razors every month, they actually donated to cancer awareness. So I'm actually donating money from my razors and some additional money to the Worldwide Cancer Research Fund.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe I
get
should
something
do
back.
that.
It's kind of cool. So
Can I do that without having to grow the beard and just donate money?
yeah, if you want to, but
Just to
get a sweet
save
beard.
face? See what save face?
Yeah.
Huh? See what I did there?
shave face.
Shave, yeah, just to shave. Damn it, you're right. Yours is better. That was one of your genuine laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when he sounds like Seth Rogen. Anyway, something we were talking about earlier too, as far as digital pedals, and this is kind of a whole new topic, but I ran into an issue that I was completely unaware of the other night. I was messing with the Strymon timeline, okay, and I was getting some cool like lo-fi delays and some cool. They have this setting called Ice, which is like it harmonizes just the repeats. It's really cool,
Right.
But I was messing with that, and I was like, well, I wonder if I could throw it on my board, because it does the tape echo thing. I don't think, personally, it does the tape echo thing as well as our faux tape echo or their El Cap. I think, but that's what those are made for.
Right.
But it does a thing there to where it would get me by, and I could use some of the fun things on it. So I plugged it into my Voodoo Lab, and like it would flash, it'd say timeline, and then the little N would come on. And I was like, oh, no, I just blew it up. And I was like, I know it's 9 volt, negative center pin. I know I'm fine. What happened? So I consulted the Oracle, and the Oracle being Google. So I consulted the Oracle, and it took me to Strymon's page, and it informed me that the Voodoo Lab Pedal Power 2 only put out 250 milliamps per, would you say channel?
Output,
yeah. And the Strymon's draw is 300. So they said technically it can work, but it's not reliable.
right. I could see that, yeah.
Yeah, but for me it just didn't work.
Because if it's not a steady 3,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I don't think so. I could be wrong.
Yeah, but they even said, you may get it to work, but that doesn't
Actually,
mean it's
it
going to
may
work
be
next
steady.
time.
But anyways, yeah. So.
But yeah, that just never occurred to me, as like I thought that the Voodoo Lab was just the end all be all. Boom, there you go. And they even say on there, like, you just might want to link 2 of them together because I guess they have an adapter.
Yeah.
Right.
To where you can just throw 500 volts to, or not
Yeah.
volts, not 500 volts.
Yeah, don't
500 milliamps.
Do not put 500 volts on your Strymon pedal. It will blow up.
If you do, call Max.
No, don't call me. Just buy a new one. I can't repair it.
And Strymon thanks you for the purchase of your new pedal.
Exactly. But it's just something, and obviously they said you could either do that, or I think they make one called the 4x4 or the ISO or something.
Yeah.
Something, for more digital style pedals. But
Man, there's some heavy duty processing going on if it uses that many milliamps.
it's what it said, yeah.
I'm just going to put a stomp switch on my Mac.
Speaking of power supplies, though, I got to do a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
I've never done a shout out before, right? So I contacted T-Rex. I think 3 or 4 episodes we were talking about me. I need a T-Rex. I called T-Rex, and they actually hooked me up with a power supply, the Chameleon. And I just want to say, T-Rex, thank you.
Fuel tank.
Well, it's the Chameleon fuel tank. It's their fuel tank series.
Really?
Yep. So now
Very
the
cool.
cool thing, it's 500 milliamps per output, which is pretty cool.
Trade you.
Wow.
No way. And it does DC and AC, so I can run my Rotosphere with all my other 9-volt pedals and no
Right.
problems.
Really?
So thank you, T-Rex. It's way cool.
It is very cool, which answers
Way
the question.
cool.
Which answers the question that I get sometimes, which is, why won't you guys make a power supply? Don't need to. Buy a T-Rex.
Buy a T-Rex. So, no, that's great, man.
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
have
That's
to-
very cool, man.
I might
Thanks,
go
guys.
hit up on the upgrade there.
Yeah,
right?
it's pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm too lazy.
I'm
Oh my gosh.
I'm just going to use batteries.
You know what we're gonna do? You guys need to check out Chasing Tone podcast Instagram and the Wampler Pedals Instagram, because Max, you have to post that picture of your pedal board, the underside of your pedal board,
Yeah.
to those Instagrams, because it's disturbingly tidy.
Yeah, and it was the fastest cable job I've ever done. Took all 5 minutes, and it's like it's just a straight line. It's perfect.
I could see Max having like a little notepad that's like fastened to the bottom of it that talks about his pedal order and what he's done with the different bands and situations.
I definitely didn't lay out the outputs in the
Diagrams.
pedal order that I did. So the pedal order,
I did that
He has
too.
the schematics of each pedal underneath his pedal board just in case.
it's just
I actually did do that though, just because I know if one fails, I know which
Exactly,
one it is.
yeah.
Because I have them all zip tied underneath, and it's a mess, so I don't want to trace them. So yeah, I did that too. Line the outputs up with your pedal order. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. That's a little pedal board tip. And being, if you're not, for instance, I'm having problems with one of the channels on my Voodoo app. I thought it was the Velvet Fuzz, because sometimes it'll cut power, and I'll have to unplug it.
Unplug the pedal itself.
No, unplug the power supply.
Oh, the power supply. Okay.
And then just run it off its battery. But the thing is that thing must have like no power draw at all.
The Velvet?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
Was it like 9 or 10 milliamps?
Yeah,
or
it's not
something?
much. Yeah.
Because, dude, I've had that battery in there forever.
It lasts forever.
It lasts forever. It's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, so that's why I did that. So I was able to just take that out and throw another one of those little, not daisy chains, whatever you call them. You know, the 1/8 inch to
Sure.
The little adapters?
Yeah, the new plug that goes from the output to the DC jack, whatever. But and it worked fine. But so that's a tip. I would definitely do that. I would definitely run your power in the order of your pedals so you know exactly which one to fix. But yeah, so that's really all I got to say about power draw.
Exciting.
It's
Good
very
stuff.
exciting.
Good stuff.
I would add something to that. Excuse me. I would add that if you were using just a regular power adapter, and let's say you have a compressor and overdrive.
When you say regular, do you mean like one of the Boss style? Or like
It could be a
spot?
Boss style. It could be a one spot. But basically, it's something that's not isolated outputs. It's just an inexpensive.
Okay, but multiple outputs like daisy chains.
Well, I'm talking about just someone that's using like one, like a visual.
Just one.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
just one adapter,
Okay.
and then daisy chaining from that.
Okay,
one
I was
adapter.
getting ahead of you.
know what I
Sorry
mean?
about that.
So, what I've noticed, and it doesn't really matter on the pedal, if you have analog pedals and then you have a pedal that has a digital circuit after it, then sometimes you'll get noise even when the pedal's off. You'll hear just a shh,
Kind of like a hiss.
just a power hiss, and it's due to that digital circuitry inside. Even though let's say the pedal's not even digital, but it has a momentary bypass on it, for example, that's using a certain type of chip that is digital.
Is that like the soft switch? Like
The soft
relay?
switch.
Okay.
Yep. So you'll have a relay that sometimes will have a microcontroller attached to that to do. So basically, it's just a cleaner way of true bypassing with relays, okay? Without getting too technical.
Sure.
So even though there's a digital circuit inside that has nothing to do with the guitar tone itself, you can still get that sort of hiss.
Okay.
And also with pedals that have internal circuitry that boosts it up to 18 volts,
like a cron.
like a cron, for example. It's also possible to get more noise with that as well,
Okay.
on or off. Just because what you're basically doing is sharing all those grounds and everything all together.
Okay.
And it can create problems.
Because
So
the clon has fuel pump. It's called a charge pump.
yeah, I was gonna say
I was like, does it really? Is that the secret?
That's the secret to why clon sounds so good. Is the fuel pump.
So you got to buy a new one when the fuel runs out. Need some more of that pedal fuel right there.
Yeah, you do, man. You do. But
yeah, but I mean, if you're having like issues with noise and you have an overdrive and a distortion and a delay, for example, or even a delay and a reverb, all daisy chained all together, try this, assuming they run off batteries as well. Unplug the daisy chains and see if the noise goes away, just from the digital pedals.
no.
And if so, then that means it's time for you to buy a T-Rex.
Boom.
Boom. Another thing that I've noticed, and at first people thought I was crazy, but maybe I am crazy. Let me ask you this. I'll form it in a question. Is it possible for noise when doing that? For instance, let's say my house is 10 years old. Okay. I plug into an outlet in my house. It's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
No noise off of one spot, daisy chained. Several pedals with digital and analog.
Mm-hmm.
Then I go play at the Slippery Noodle, which was built in like 1910 or something like that. You
Right.
know, and obviously it has old electricity and
Right.
whatever. Is it possible to get noise there
And not at home?
and not at home?
Oh, absolutely.
See,
It's possible to get noise in one room of your house and not in another room.
Right. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of people realize that. It's kind of what I wanted to point
Yeah.
out. Like, how many times have you had this, Max, whenever you say, somebody will call and say, man, my Faux Tape Echo is just so noisy that I can't even use it. And then you ask them, and I used to ask them to say, have you ever played it on a buddy's rig at their house? And they'd say no. And then they'll email me back, be like, it's not noisy there.
Right.
And it's like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's your power in your house. So
Right.
If
I remember one time a guy, same thing, and I had the guy move his amp to a different bedroom, and he found out that and there was no noise in it then. And he found out that the room that he was in was tied to like his washer and dryer. And just even though it wasn't necessarily on or anything, it's just that circuit was a little bit dirtier, and it was cleaner in a different room.
Yeah.
Now, I heard this, and this is complete hearsay. Please don't quote me on it. But I heard that Eric Johnson, used to actually say that he needed to go into the first outlet from the fuse box.
I've heard that.
Yep. I've heard that too.
And I wouldn't doubt it because I was reading something about Eric, and he said something along the lines of basically he used to think that he could hear all this stuff, and now he's chilled out way chilled out on that. And he kind of was even poking fun at himself, and he's like, it's funny, like a lot of these urban myths and stuff have come out about me because of all this stuff. He's like, half of it's not even true.
Right. But I mean, to be honest, in that situation, I could totally see that. Just because, look at it this way. Now, in a house wiring, when they're wiring up a house, they take basically one, if you're on a circuit, you're taking cable from the fuse box, going from a room to one outlet, going up and around down to another outlet.
So you're daisy chaining.
Yeah, you're daisy chaining around that room. And so it's like almost taking like an extension cord
and just plugging it
into the wall and running your amp off that.
Right.
So there's a lot of potential for noise based on that. There really is. That's why it's so dependent. Noise problems are not necessarily the pedal.
Right.
Not necessarily. It could just be the way your house is wired.
Right.
So, yeah, absolutely.
But isolated power source normally fixes that.
Most of the time. If nothing else, it helps a lot. Yeah.
Right.
I was watching a rig rundown on Brad Paisley's rig. He was talking about the reason he uses power conditioners now is because his his tech, I think was it Chad Wood?
Chad at the time?
Yeah, Chad at the time was talking about they put a voltmeter in the power draw, and it was going down from 110 down to 101, then up to 120. Then it was all over the place. His tone kept getting inconsistent. So now they use power conditioners to give it everything at an even 110.
Remember that time, Brian, we didn't have to watch rig rundowns to see Brad Paisley's rig because we just went and talked to Brad Paisley about Brad Paisley's rig?
Remember that one time that... No, you guys get to do all cool stuff.
In all fairness, I don't think you were working here yet.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get to see him this year.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you went. I thought you just planned to.
The last time I saw him was the day that your child was born.
Really? Mm-hmm. What?
And yeah.
Really? I thought. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because remember we were going to go, and I think we were going to go. I remember that Stacy went in labor because you texted me at the concert, and we left the concert.
Yes. It was.
We left the concert.
It was the day before. You're right. Yeah, it was in Evansville or something, right?
Yeah, we were like, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was on the 11th.
So I blame you for missing most of my last Brad Paisley concert.
Why don't you blame my son? I blame him for everything.
I gotta let him get old enough to talk and understand. That way I can verbally abuse him.
There you go.
You guys get to do all cool stuff. Talk to Brad about his rig. Play Whitfills.
Here we go back to the Whit lifts. Here we go. Hey, do your full circle thing. Yeah, there's this full circle thing. I strongly urge you watch these on YouTube. Just one, just so you can.
Just because I'm hilarious.
Pretty much. I can't deny it.
It's true.
I'm not even going to try to deny it. It's the truth.
That chubby guy's hilarious.
I was called Tubby on tour.
Really?
Yeah, by my drummer at the time. Because he's just big. He's not overweight. He's just 6'5" or something. He's just big. So I called him the big guy. And he goes, "Oh, coming from the Tubby kid." I was like, "I never said you're fat. You're just tall. You're big."
Tubby's one of those words, as soon as you say, you have to laugh.
Yeah.
Pudgy's the same way.
Portly. That's
Portly.
my favorite one. Portly.
Yeah. Tubby.
I was like, man, that's not cool.
Is stocky the same connotation? Is that?
No, that's like husky.
Husky. What's the difference there?
Husky was a word made by mothers to name their fat children. Trust me, because I was always in the husky side. What's funny, I remember going to the store, when I was a kid, my mom was like, "Oh, I need these 16 husky." And the guy's like, "I don't know if we have 16 husky." And he's on the radio, "We have 16 husky." There's a portly kid here that needs 16 husky. It's like, shut up.
Got an extra fat one up here. Got an extra fat one.
Yeah, he can't squeeze in a 16 regular. We need 16 Husky.
That's kind of like the time when I was a kid. I was like 14 or 15, and I had stomach problems, right? So I had to go to the pharmacy, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys have anything for diarrhea?" And they're like, "I don't know. Let me check." And this was back before they had walkie-talkies. They just had an intercom system.
Yeah.
So they got on, "Where's the diarrhea medicine?" And of course, nobody cares. But when you're 14, you're like, "Oh my god."
At least you didn't say gonorrhea.
But I don't know which one's worse, a gonorrhea at age 14.
Got a boy with gonorrhea up here. Need some medicine.
Yeah, he's burning.
Yeah.
Oh man, we are so far off.
Which one do you fix first? Clean up aisle 6.
Oh no! Digital power. I'm saving us. I'm bringing us right back in.
See, because if it's not filtered right, it can sound crappy.
We should change
go with that.
We should change the podcast name to Chasing the Topic.
Yeah, chasing topics.
Romancing the tone.
Yeah, you like that one? Yeah, that was that. I give a shout out to my buddy Doug on that. My buddy Doug Sims. I'm sorry, he goes by Eric. You guys would know him as Eric Sims. Great songwriter, really good guitar player, great singer. But yeah, he came up. He's like, you need to change it to Romancing the Tone.
I'd probably get sued for that too.
Yeah. Or he had another idea that was pretty terrible, but I just typed back LOL to make him feel better, and he listens to these. But he said something like "wampy talkie" instead of walkie talkie.
Wampy talkie.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, Doug. I'm sorry, man.
That is pretty bad.
That's pretty bad, and he's got to be laughing at me over this one. But sorry, dude. So let's consult the list one more time here.
Sure.
Oh, actually, wait a minute. This is a long podcast. We can go longer if you want.
What you got?
We're at 32 minutes.
32 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see if we have something really quick.
Okay.
Nope.
Fair enough. So stay tuned. It's Chasing Tone Podcast.
Okay. All right. No, seriously though, guys. We'd like to ask a favor. If you guys could leave us a review, on iTunes, that'd be really cool. Let us know what you think of the show. Moreover, let other people know what you think of the show. We're not saying we're not, trying to buy you here. It doesn't even have to be a great review. Just let us know what you think. Also, if you have any questions or comments, shoot us an email at podcast@wamplerpedals.com. Check us out on Instagram and Instagram and Facebook, facebook.com/Chasing Tone Podcast, and Instagram is Chasing Tone Podcast. So, do you guys got anything else?
That's it.
Okay. For Max and Brian, I'm Travis. Thank you guys so much for listening.